My name is Cosette Harris. I am the youngest person ever on the Appraiser Coach podcast.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Appraiser Coach podcast. My name is Dustin Harris. I am the Appraiser Coach. I have a couple of great guests coming up. Can't wait to introduce you. But first, want to pause and remind you that this episode is sponsored by a couple of great companies, one of them being OREP Insurance. OREP, of course, is my E&O of choice. Should be yours as well. Check them out by going to orep.org. And we are sponsored by TrueTracks. TrueTracks will help you to support your adjustments. Check them out by going to truefootage.tech and clicking on the TrueTracks button. You'll learn more at truefootage.tech. All right, folks, welcome to the program. I am so excited today to have a couple of guests on. Their names are Nicolette and Cosette Harris. No relation, by the way, at least that we know of, right? Welcome, guys, to the program. So good to have you here.
I guess, well, we're related.
I guess we should clarify that. Yes. Yes. Nicolette and Cosette Harris are related. They're just not related to Dustin Harris, the Appraiser Coach, as far as we know. And how are you guys related? Let's start with that.
Well, this is my lovely daughter, Cosette. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I am, so she is the star of the Appraisal Kids. And I guess that makes me the Appraisal Mom.
I love it. Okay, so let's set this up properly just so everybody knows where we're coming from. First of all, Nicolette, you and I know each other for a very long time. We happen to appraise in the same state. We don't cross over in territories, but you're a member of my Dream Team Mastermind, have been for years. So we know each other pretty well on that end. Again, no relation on the bloodlines that we know of, and no relation really on a business line either, as far as appraisal, the appraisal firm goes. But you and I have worked with each other for a long time, and you kind of started up this thing over the last, I don't know, what has it been, a year or so that you've kind of been putting out YouTube videos, and you called it the Appraisal Kids. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so about, I think we're a little under a year right now, but about the end of last year, what happened is I started getting actually a realtor came to me and was upset that I didn't include the basement on the appraisal report.
We've heard this one before, right?
Yeah. So I went through creating this whole diagram, showing them where to find the basement on the appraisal report, showing them how the rooms are counted and how all the comps are similar. And they actually, they had no idea how to find that information. And it wasn't easy to find online. Right. So I started thinking, man, there's so much about appraising that just is not well known. And we could be avoiding these questions and these angry responses from people who think we're doing things wrong if we just were able to spread a little bit more awareness.
Awesome.
So at that point, my daughter here, she's, a musical theater child. She just loves to perform, sing, dance, all of the things. So I thought, you know what? She would be a great person to share this information with people.
Nobody's going to get mad at a 5-year-old girl for not including the basement, right?
Right. Well, I was thinking at the time, man, if I get on there and I'm talking about this stuff, people just may not be interested. But if she's talking about these things, then maybe we'd have a better chance of, getting this information out there and relieving some of the stress that I deal with every day in my business because people just don't know how it works.
Right. Yeah. So those who are listening on audio, write this down, The Appraisal Kids. And it's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. Those of you who are watching this on YouTube, don't leave us yet, okay? Just put it in the back of your mind. As soon as we're done with the podcast here, I want you to go to the Appraisal Kids and start checking out these videos. But Cosette, you are kind of the star of the show. It's called the Appraisal Kids, but at least the ones that I've watched so far, they're kind of dominated by you. You're kind of the star of the show. What do you think of that?
I love it a lot.
I love it, Cosette. Well, I'll tell you what. I love a lot is watching you on YouTube. It's very Nicolette, as you talked about, it's very engaging. It's super fun to put it. I mean, these are things that I know, so I'm not really learning, how to do an appraisal or how to read an appraisal or why appraisals do this and do that and what brings up the value. But I know that the most viewers are going to be learning that. But honestly, I watch them just because they're entertaining. And I think this is a beautiful way to do things. So, Nicolette, you talk about Cosette was kind of a drama. I'm not going to say drama queen, but a drama participant, musicals. Have you been in other things, Cosette?
Yes. Well, she posts. We post a couple singing videos because that is something that we share. We have in common. We're both singers, so she's just all about that. So there's some of that stuff online, but other than the appraisal kids, no.
Okay. Never been on stage though, right, Cosette?
Yes, she has.
She has been on stage. So Cosette, what have you been in on stage before? What have you performed in?
I played the drummer and Mary Had a Little Lamb and the mouse.
Well, my word, you have quite a resume. You come to the table with all kinds of experience, which is, by the way, shown when you watch these wonderful videos. Nicolette, what you talked about your answer to this realtor, this angry realtor, but you've got to have a bigger purpose than this. Why do the YouTube channel?
We are hoping to reduce the uncertainty that most people feel when they are getting an appraisal. Whether it's a realtor or a homeowner, most people just don't know what to expect. And I think that it would help everyone involved in the process if more people just knew a little bit more about appraising and what it is and how we get the value. What is a comp? Just, the basic things like that, so that it's just a better experience for everyone involved, including the appraiser.
Love it. When we get back, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what it takes to put something like this together. I also want to ask you what the reaction has been from the viewers. But first, I want to pause, folks, and remind you that we're sponsored today by a couple of great companies. Of course, TrueTracks is your way to be able to support your adjustments, including those stinking nonlinear time adjustments that Fannie Mae wants us to do these days, folks. It makes it so easy. Check them out. You can check out their demo videos. You can go to truefootage.tech, and then you'll find it. TrueTracks is what you're looking for. Find out more about this great program, which can help support your adjustments. Again, it's TrueTracks, can be found at truefootage.tech. Of course, we're sponsored by OREP Insurance. Folks, you do have a choice when it comes to your E&O. And I would recommend that you take a peek at orep.org and find out not just what they will do for you from an insurance perspective, but also look at them from a benefits perspective. I promise you, because I've shopped around, there is no company out there that gives you more benefits for your E&O patronage than E&O from OREP. OREP.org is where you find out more. Again, it's OREP.org. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. I've got my good friends, Miss Nicolette Harris and her daughter, Cosette. Welcome back. Welcome back, Cosette.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. This has been super fun for me to watch the YouTube channel, but I have to be honest, as I'm watching the YouTube channel, I'm thinking, oh my word, there's got to be so much work that goes into this. Like, it's so easy to view. I guarantee it's not easy to make. Talk to us a little bit, Nicolette, about what goes into making a short YouTube video like this.
Well, the first couple videos took a lot longer than the most recent ones. And that's just because we have to set up a little set. That little desk that she's at is not always there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, we've kind of gone all in. Like we've got a real camera, a tripod, we've got special lighting, and we script it. And, all of that kind of stuff. So, Cosette also, we try to prep her with the script beforehand.
Yeah. I was going to say that you probably don't do this in one take.
No, no. We typically, we do it line by line,
Yeah.
so, and it's funny because weeks later, she'll say one of these lines from these videos and, so she remembers them after, which is great because she's really learning this stuff.
Cosette, how many times do you think you have to say something over and over and over again until you get it right?
Um, a lot.
That's a good answer. Love it. So, Nicolette, what's been the reaction from the viewers? Are you getting some play on these things? I know that YouTube videos, they really take a lot of time to build up viewership.
Yeah, so we've actually been pretty surprised by the response. I think most of the comments we get are actually on LinkedIn,
Oh,
from
interesting.
other professionals in the industry. And a lot of them just say, wow, she's so cute. I love someone even said, I love the mother-daughter dynamic,
Yeah.
which makes me happy, of course. And yeah, like there's been a lot of positivity. One appraiser even reached out to me saying, we need to get this everywhere. This is amazing. I love it. She's so cute. She's so engaging with
Mhm.
the information that, when not delivered by a child, it could be a little dry
Yeah,
sometimes.
for sure. And there's lots of videos out there like that, right? Well, I shouldn't say lots. There's a few videos out there like that that, let's be honest, especially for someone who understands the industry, they may not be engaging. This is not just engaging for those that need to learn more about appraisals. It's also engaging for us appraisers, just because. I mean, let's face it, Cosette. You're cute as a button, and you're fun to watch. You do a great job.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Nicolette, what's in it for you? And I mean that in a positive way. In other words, somebody might be listening to this and saying, okay, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of money. You can't just be doing this altruistically for the purpose of getting information out there about appraisals. Is there something that comes back to you in this?
Yes. So, number one, I think my primary goal is just to reduce my own stress
Mm,
in in my business because when I do get those unhappy people who just need a little bit more education about how the appraisals work, I do have to say it stresses me out.
yeah, for sure. I think all of us would raise our
Yeah,
hand.
right. So I benefit in that way, but also we've so that's how it started. That was the original goal.
Mm,
But it's kind of evolved. I've realized with the amount of attention it has gotten and just the positive response, I've realized that we have an opportunity to not only produce videos, but to produce real education, in this space. And so we've kind of moved on, like evolved into, we're going to start offering, things to realtors that they could, purchase online, where they could get into an appraisal office and understand what really goes behind these reports that matter to their system so much.
right.
What matters to their income, that the appraisal goes well. So we're thinking, and the benefit there would be a whole new business venture.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's kind of what we've evolved into, and we're working on quite a bit in the background.
I love it. I love it. What advice would you give to other appraisers? Is there anything that appraisers who, the main audience here that's listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast? There's others as well, but mostly appraisers. What advice would you give them with regard to education and information and let's face it, marketing?
Yeah, I would say that there is a gigantic education gap,
Hmm.
a gigantic void in the space of giving information to homeowners, to realtors, to, I mean, even loan officers, anyone in this field. They just don't know about what appraisers do. So I think there's a huge opportunity, not just for us, but for any appraiser to put information out, get knowledge out to the people who are in their industry and in their area, because not only will it bring orders, but it will also bring it will better the industry as a whole.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're giving back to the industry, and industry meaning, the real estate in general. There's so much confusion out there when it comes to appraisals and what they do, what they don't do. And like you said, there's a gap in knowledge and information that you guys are starting to fill. So, Cosette, I have a huge announcement to make. This is going to come as a big surprise to everybody that's listening. You hold the record for the youngest guest ever on the Appraiser Coach podcast. What do you think of that?
Awesome.
Well, thank you for being on, my friends. It was so good to meet both of you in this capacity on the podcast. But mostly to get to know the star of the Appraisal Kids. You of course can find the Appraisal Kids on YouTube. It's very easy. Just type in youtube.com and then go to the search bar, The Appraisal Kids, and it should come up. Subscribe, punch the like button, do everything. You can share it with your friends. We're going to get the name out there and make sure that everybody sees the Appraisal Kids. Thank you guys for being on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit TheAppraiserCoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.